Hey there, your Kogo blogger here, or should I say Cogger. This week at Kogo we've had a few questions on the subject of leverage, and here's what I found out. Leverage describes a process whereby a small action produces a larger reaction, which is what a lever does in a mechanical sense. In the financial sphere, it can have a variety of meanings. A charity can leverage in, that is, acquire funds from a charitable foundation, if it can raise 20%, say, of the amount it needs by fundraising itself. Usually, however, in the financial arena, it describes a buyout, where the bidder, often an unfriendly one, can buy the shares in a company without putting up much or indeed any of his own money. The required cash to buy the shares is raised in the capital market and becomes a liability, often huge and unwanted, of the company under its new owner, who has himself no obligation to pay anything. English football clubs are a recent and notorious example. Mr. Richovsky swans in from Moscow and decides, perhaps foolishly, that he wants to buy, say, Millwall. The owners of Millwall shares are tempted by the lure of Russian gold, which will actually be cash pounds, and agree, perhaps after a bit of token haggling, to sell. Positioned before, fictitious example, 1 million shares each worth £5. Value of club, £5 million, with debts, because that's how life is, of say £5 million. Mr. R offers £10 a share. The whole of South London claps its hands and says, yes, please. Mr. R goes out to borrow £10 million, secured on the club, and because Mr. R is stinking rich, no one asks too many questions, and some damn fool bank agrees to lend at a fairly extortionate rate, or maybe a bond is issued with a high coupon. Position after, value of club, who knows or cares, because all shares are held by Mr. R. Debts of, oops, £15 million. Club's expenses on players, etc. stay the same. Club's expenses on borrowing at least treble. Club's income probably not greatly affected. Who gains? Mr. R now has a smart new trendy asset to dangle before other mafioso. Who loses? Eventually the club and its supporters, because they can't raise enough revenue to keep the enterprise afloat, and sooner or probably later, just look at Rangers, the bank will say, sorry mate, but we want our loan repaid. Terribly sad, I know, old boy, but times are tough.